All right, your friendly agency owner wanting to talk to you about your go to market. I've been doing a lot of research and digging into our clients' account. I think there's three core focuses that you need to consider when you start to think about your overall strategy. First, you need to start considering more of an omni-channel experience. You need to be able to understand that you're going to be getting a lot of zero click exposure, where that might be on social media, it might be citations, not necessarily links, but citations of people talking about you. It'd be a great idea for you to Google the old school way, look up your company name on Reddit, look at your Yelp reviews, look at the different listings that are on the internet that are citing your company. Just like back in the day, you used to care about your name, address, phone number and making sure that it's consistent. It's the same thing. You got to make sure that the information is correct in all of the different places that we're hanging out. One platform that you should not be sleeping on is YouTube. When we think of an omni-channel strategy with these LLMs, YouTube is not just a wealth of information highly prioritized by AI overviews and Google. It's one of the most overlooked communities in regards to people asking questions. It's pretty obvious that Google's trying to go that route with YouTube. Then you start to think about the other places on the web that you show up, right? How are you showing up on TikTok? How are you showing up on Reddit? How are you showing up on these different platforms? It might be industry forums. It might be those different areas. You got to make sure that you're represented there and that your content is represented there as well without coming across as pushy marketing. You want to make sure that you're really understanding fundamentally what that means, but you got to understand how that overall channel is going to be driving qualified traffic to your website. The next thing you need to do is really consider conversions on your website. Look at those entrance pages. I'm a big fan of rolling 30-day analysis on pages, and look at the pages by not just returning visitors, but based on new visitors and where they're landing. If you're using a tool like HubSpot, you can look at new versus returning. Those new visitors on your particular pages are going to let you know, even if you don't have keyword data, what pages are the destination points. You'll probably see direct is much higher in regards to your traffic count. That's not necessarily a bad thing because all these other platforms strip the analytics out. So I know Slack URLs tend to do that. If people are cutting out UTM parameters in the URL, that's going to come up as direct traffic. You're going to be in a lot of these different tools where you might not be able to attribute that. You got to keep an eye on that direct traffic too. Is your new visitor direct traffic increasing or is it declining? That's a really good symptom of your brand in regards to how things are showing up. Then you've got the organic side of things. Organic is going to be an area where we are fighting a war against organic traffic right now. And you've got to make sure you understand what's the best of the best. You got to understand where that first page traffic's coming from. You got to understand those visitors in regards to where they're happening and make sure that you understand how you're showing up. Those trends should not be declining, especially for your core service pages. And if they are, you really need to look at your website from an optimization standpoint. Now, we're not just optimizing your website for SEO. You have to optimize each one of your website pages so you can identify and understand the humans that are coming to the site overall. If they're coming from LLMs or a Google AI overview, they've got the information. In some cases, it might not even be all of your information, but they're making it to you in spite of the links being harder to get to. That means there is some intentional interest. You've got to make sure that every page on your website, especially the ones getting first-time traffic, are driving value for each segment of the buyer's journey. You have to make sure your website is hyper-focused, understood, regardless of the first page they land on. Not everybody is coming through your homepage. You've got to think about all these other doors to your marketing and to your messaging and how accurate are they in regards to representation for your brand. Then you've got to think about the AI agents assisting these buyers. For instance, there's browsers like Comet. Microsoft just came out with one for their Copilot. When we consider ChatGPT and their agent, this is going to create a very different overall buying experience. We've got to make sure our websites are accessible. And when I say accessible, I mean like not just like ADA compliance accessible, but also like very efficiently represented in regards to what the page is about, who it's for, and making sure that you've got the different components that can allow confidence to come through, as well as these agents to be able to understand and recommend what the next step is. You can head on over to clearframework.ai if you want an assessment of your homepage for free. Won't even ask you for your email address. You get that report. If you come through and do that, you're going to realize that you've got some work to do in regards to how a website is going to be represented online. Then the last thing is we've got to think about what happens with these other parts of our overall buying experience. People are, if you have live chat on your website, that's great. You got to make sure it's being answered. If you have forms on your website, you've got to make sure that you're paying attention to telling people what the next steps look like. If you are creating an experience for these customers, you got to make sure that you're up to their expectations. The live chat on your website today, unless you've got someone sitting there ready and they can get to it within 30 seconds, you've got to have a really great AI-powered chatbot that can hand off to a customer service rep or a sales rep at the blink of an eye. That's a big area of the business that you really need to consider, because the closer we get to revenue, the more important these interactions become. And we want to make sure that you have an impact with every interaction that your company is portraying. If we bring all of that together, that sounds super overwhelming. The good news is there's platforms out there like HubSpot. There's companies like Impulse Creative that can help you bring all of this together, and you don't have to eat the elephant in one bite. We can start to talk about what your strategy is, how to enhance your overall website and your go-to-market, and then look at these different ways to create a really awesome experience for your customer. I would love to help you make sure that you are approaching AI in an intentional and customer-focused way. It's an exciting opportunity as business owners to redefine what customer success looks like and not have the same constraints that we've been used to in the past. The time is now to start thinking intelligently on a customer-first point of view. If you don't, your competitors are, and there's a significant amount of opportunity to do it right and to start hedging some bets to get your information out there.